Yo, yo, YouTube! It is Wednesday, the 27th of September. I'm on my way home after quite a long day, and I'll tell you all about it now. Another day on the road. It's always good to have a day on the road. When I'm in my van, when I'm not able to work, I do miss it. So I'm currently leaving Manchester, and I'm going to go home as opposed to High Wycombe because I've got no space in my van to tramp out tonight. So I will be a little bit less efficient than I could be, but I'll get to sleep in my own bed, which will be nice. And then I won't have to rush in the morning and I'll get comfortable night's sleep. So this morning I did have a job booked in already from Boston to Stoke, and it was a job that I'd done before, so I knew where I was going. I did though make a mistake with the timings. I thought it was 35 minutes to the pickup point. Actually, it's the other side of Boston, and quite far. It's actually not in Boston at all. It's in the countryside outside of Boston, and it's 45 minutes. So I had to ring the shipper when I left my house, and I explained to them I'd be there at 9:15 because of the traffic, as well as me leaving late. And they said that's absolutely fine. They weren't bothered at all, but at least I told them. So I arrived, and I knew where to go. I knew who to see and what to do. They wanted to take a photo of the code. They wanted to take a photo of my reg, and then I went around the back of the building to pick up the pallets. I did utilise their toilet, which was very good. It's becoming one of my things now to say this. And then I went around the back, and they brought out the first pallet, which was quite big, but big enough to go, not too big for my van. And I was asking him how many pallets I had. He said it was 2. I said that's fine. So I was thinking, well, which one's bigger, this one or the other one? Because the biggest one will go through my side door to even out the weight, and the smaller one through my back door. And they brought the second one out, which was bigger, but it was way too high for my van. I could see immediately it's too high. So I got my tape measure, went round and measured how high it was, and told them that the top 2 layers of items had to come off. So while I was strapping the first pallet down through my side door next to my bulkhead, they were repalleting the second pallet onto a third pallet. And there was no problem with that. They did that without any question. We worked as a team, as it were. I was strapping up, they were doing that. Put the second pallet on, and put the third pallet on, which is like a mini pallet at the end. The other thing to be mindful of, to tell you about, sorry. My distance between my wheel arches inside is 1.3 metres, and that's usually fine for any size pallet. But recently, and today was an example, there was a pallet that they put in sideways that I think must have been exactly 1.3 metres, not 1.2, because it was really tight. So I got them to turn it around so that it went in lengthways, because it wouldn't fit otherwise. It would be so tight, it was ridiculous. So there must be a different size pallet to 1.3 metre long pallets that exist now. And so I got the third pallet on at the back, which is a mini pallet. It all fitted on fine. I'm all strapped up. I'm getting good at strapping now. I think I'm making sure I strap up really carefully. I put I'm not going to say what I did, but I put 4 straps on in total for the three pallets, and put edge protectors on all of them. So it was all secure. I even stopped about an hour in and just double checked everything was fine. Just tightened up a couple of straps. So I think it's definitely worth doing that for me, to check as I go through picking a long journey. So I took that load to Stoke, and it was a really nice day this morning, and really nice drive, really easy. As I was getting to Stoke, my diesel was running out. It was running out quite quickly, and I was looking out for diesel that was cheaper than 161 per litre. And about 2 miles from my drop off, there was a Shell garage selling it at 160 per litre, which is cheaper than mine. So I filled up there with my business credit card, my business card, bank card, and then made my way to the drop off, which I've been there before. It's in the country again. I knew where I was going this time, so I knew what to expect when I got there. So it's always nice when you get to know these places. So yeah, I got that dropped off, and then my plan then was to go to Manchester to do my pickups from my regular shipper. I got one pickup today, but I realised it was over an hour, about 40 odd miles, which was a bit far to just dead mile it. So I had a look at jobs, and there was nothing immediately that came to mind, or it was available. So I made my way from where I was towards Manchester. But then as I was moving off, as I sort of started driving, a job came up from Market Raisin, I think it's called. Double check. No, not Raisin. It was Market something. Go with an R. It was Market Drayton, going to Manchester. So I put a bid on that. It was 75 miles for €2 pallets. So they wanted a short wheelbase van, and I bid £70. And I got that. So I thought that's a nice amount of money just to get myself to where I was going anyway. So I was about on the CX app. I was about 35 minutes away. When I put the full postcode in, it was 45 minutes away. So I remember I got there at 2:15. Got loaded up with a couple of small pallets. The guy was really friendly that loaded me up. He's obviously having his lunch, but he stopped and loaded me up. So again, another nice guy. And then I made my way towards Manchester, and I got to a quite interesting place. Interesting in that it was I think it's a manufacturing unit, big manufacturing warehouse or something. Well, it looked like a warehouse, but I think it must have some sort of manufacturing unit. And outside, it had loads and loads of train wheels. I'm sure that's the better name for it. The circular things that go on the tracks underneath the body of a train. So maybe there's another name for it, the wheels. And there's just loads of them all lined up. And I was fascinated by that. So there must be second-hand stuff that is available to sell. They must be repassing. What's the word? Recycling that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's a business for that, and it was really interesting to see it. And anyway, I got there, and the guy that was the forklift driver was again a really nice guy. We had to drag off the second pallet from the middle of a van because I couldn't reach it. And I know now that you just put a pallet around the middle of a strap around the middle of the pallet, and then you get the forklift driver to pull it towards him, and then you take off the pallet, take off the strap. Really easy. And this time, the forklift was really greasy. I got my hands quite dirty, and he helped me, and he's got hands dirty as well. So he was really kind. He said, if you go into the toilet there, use the purple stuff, you get your hands cleaned. And it worked. It got all the grease off really nicely. So he was a really nice guy doing the forklift drive for me. So most forklift drivers I come across are pretty nice guys. But you get the odd surly one. But I suppose everyone's like that sometimes. But you do notice the difference when you get someone who's in a bad mood and someone who's in a good mood. It's so easy to tell. Anyway, it's a bit of a side issue. What happened then? Then I made my way to my pickup in Manchester, central Manchester. I was half an hour, 25 minutes away from it at this point, and I arrived there at about 20 to 6, 5:30, 26. Again, the guy that I was dealing with was super helpful. He even helped me with some of the handballing. It still took me an hour. and I got that done on my van. My van's now completely full, and I've got nowhere to sleep tonight in the van. I mean, I suppose I could sleep on top of some of the items. I've done it once before, but I don't see the point really. I'll just go home. The diversion home is a few extra miles as opposed to going directly to High Wycombe, but it's going to be nicer to do that. So that's basically my day. I'm going to go home, then in the morning take this stuff down to High Wycombe and upload it. I'm not going to do my stats for today, specifically because I'm going to have a skewed set of results. What I'll do is I'll give my results for an average for the 2 days, today and tomorrow. And the reason why is because I'm going to get £240 for the pickup I've just done, but I won't be able to record it until I actually deliver it tomorrow morning. So if I start putting in stats for today based on not having that, I'll have a lot of time and not as much money. And if I add it, I'll have a lot more money and I've still got extra time to do tomorrow. So I think the fairest thing to do is when I have this situation, I'm going to average out 2 days rather than just do it 1 day at a time. That's, I think, is a more accurate reflection about what this job pays. So I can tell you that my first job this morning was £150, 150. My second job was £70, so that was a total of £220, and then I'm going to get £240 when I deliver this load tomorrow morning. But I won't bother necessarily going very early. I've got two choices. Again, I can leave at about 6:30, and then get there for about 9:30, still missing some of the work. Or I can leave about 9, get there for about 11:30, 12. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see what I'm going to sleep tonight. I suppose I probably should try and get up early and go down, but we'll see. Right, I don't think there's anything else that I can share with you. Oh, actually, no. I've been thinking about subscribers last couple of days, and I've got. I suppose I'll share with you my view of subscribers in case it's not what you think it is. So I'm not going to bother doing a running total of my subscribers because I think it gives the wrong impression. I think it gives the impression that that's really important to me. And what I was trying to do there was to acknowledge and show gratitude to people that had subscribed. And then I felt it was becoming a bit more like, oh, look at me, I've got 3 more subscribers today. And that wasn't meant to be the point of it. So I'm going to stop doing that. And I'm going to say, this is my view of subscribers. I'm assuming that anyone can view my videos and that only those people that like the videos will subscribe. I was trying to think, would there be subscribers that would subscribe specifically because they didn't like the content? And I couldn't think why anyone would do that. There's going to be videos where the quality of the audio quality or the content quality isn't to your liking, or the thing I'm talking about you don't agree with, or maybe the style. The style doesn't really change, to be honest. The style is I tell you about my day with the stats, and then maybe something I've learned during the day in a narrative style. That's always what I'm going to do. If you don't like that style, that isn't going to change. So anyway, the point is, if you have subscribed, I'm assuming that you like the kind of things that I'm talking about and the way that I'm doing it. If you don't, and you have subscribed, I think you should probably not subscribe, because I don't see why you would. I'm happy for you to view the videos and comment. I mean, you can still do that without being a subscriber if you don't like them. But I think that I have to make the assumption that the subscriber numbers are people that actually support what I'm doing, really, in the broadest sense. And therefore, I've got over 160 subscribers, I think, or about that at the moment. That's 160 people that support what I'm doing. I don't need any more than that. I don't need that many, to be honest. I don't need any more subscribers. I don't particularly want it for the sake of it. If you, yeah, that's it really. I don't. I thought about it quite a lot. I thought, should I be kind of pushing the subscriber base? And no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just have everyone subscribing because you're a number. To me, you're not just a number. You're a person that supports what I'm doing, and that's really important to me. And if there's only 160 or 150 or even 100, that's way more than I could possibly wish for. In real life, I would never have 100 people that supported what I did. So this is a weird situation to be in for someone like me, where you got 150 people that kind of I take as supporting what I'm doing. Anyway, so I wanted to acknowledge that I'm grateful if you have subscribed, but also say don't worry about subscribing if you don't really want to. I'm not that fussed about it. I don't need to grow my channel for any other reason. Yeah, if you and if you don't like it, certainly don't subscribe. There's no pressure to sort of stay a subscriber or become one if you don't like the content. Yeah, I think that's probably what I want to say at this point. That is being open and honest about how I see things. I don't. Yeah, I think that's enough of that. Right, so I'll leave it there. Get this uploaded. It's getting dark as well. I've got about another 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get home. So I'll enjoy that drive. And hopefully by the time I get back, this will be uploaded. Hope you're all doing well. Whatever you're doing, whatever you choose to do, I hope that you're successful in the terms that you want to be successful. What have you learnt today?